Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to take another look at OneSaas and their integration into eBay. If you've seen any of my other two prior videos, we've had a quick look into OneSaas itself to see what the capabilities was, and then we had a deep dive in looking at the payouts. Now we're going to look a deep dive in the other way in which you can integrate OneSaas, which is actually doing it on an order by order basis, and that's what we want to look at today. So join us as together we're going to find out exactly how OneSaas and eBay can work for you and your business. Stay tuned.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, owner of an accounting firm called Boffix, and also that QuickBooks chap on the interwebs. So the premise of today's video is very simple. We've already looked into OneSaas, which is a software solution that lets you integrate eBay and QuickBooks together. So you haven't already, do check my other two videos on that one first, because that will make this video make much more sense to you. But with OneSaas itself, you do have the opportunity to tailor the way that integration works. And the way I've described it before, and it's still relevant, is that for majority of your businesses, you're going to be looking at integrating just the payouts. So what do I mean by payouts? Well, let's have a quick look. If I head over to my eBay page, you'll notice on my eBay page that I've got here these payouts, one here and one here. What that represents are the amount of times that I've actually received money into my bank account because I've completed sale or multiple sales of products, and they've deducted fees, and that's the key part, and they've deducted anything else they need to deduct from eBay, and basically I'm then left with what is left, which is what is put into my bank account. As we've discussed many times on this channel, I can't just record the payouts that come into my bank account as my income and sales and just go, thank you very much, that will do. Unfortunately, I need to do a little bit more work. And that little bit more work is really straightforward. All I need to do is account for exactly how much I've sold, less any fees that's related to, which brings me back to that amount that I got paid into my bank. We say it many times on the channel, but it is very important we show our gross figure as a top income, and then we less any fees you may have incurred to get to that sale separately. And one of the key reasons for that is for VAT, and especially for registration of VAT. We want to make sure we get that absolutely spot on. And if we are VAT registered, then we need to be able to make sure we're accounting for the VAT properly. And that's a great segue, because one of the reasons why you would choose to use payout versus not using the payout method in terms of recording your eBay sales is mainly down to VAT. There are other reasons, but majority of the time, if you're not VAT registered, you can pretty much get away with just using that payout method. So you wait for the money to hit your bank account, and then you account for it either way. Using software like OneSaas automates that beautifully for you, and all you've got to do then is match them when they appear in your bank account. So if using the payout solution is perfect for anyone who's not VAT registered, what about if you are VAT registered, or you're really interested in the minor detail that you get from it? So are you really interested in looking at different sales elements, or are you looking at selling abroad, or have you got different avenues that you need to explore into looking to reporting? If you need more data than just what's appeared in my bank account, how do I account for it, then this is the video for you. Also, if you're VAT registered, this is the only video that will work for you, because the way you need to account for VAT, you can't really do that on a payout basis. You won't get enough information. So for us to do this properly, we're going to have to use the other features within OneSaas itself, and we're going to have to stay clear of the payout section and use the other sections available. Let's have a look so we can know exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, first and foremost, we need to get ourselves into OneSaas itself to do exactly what we're talking about. And as you can see here on screen, I have my OneSaas account. Now, at the moment, in the last video, we used this when a payout is paid by eBay, create a deposit in QuickBooks Online. Now, again, that's only going to be useful if you're not VAT registered. If you are VAT registered or you need more details, you need to take the tick out of here, otherwise you'll be duplicated. And you need to put a tick into this one instead. When an order is created in eBay, create a sales in QuickBooks Online. So let's tick that one. Now remember, we still have our same restrictions. So eBay to API restricts historical data, that's fine. But then our next deep dive we want to go through these extra elements. So first of all, when you retrieve orders from eBay, what do you want to do with them? And we even have the option for advanced options here. So when you show the advanced screen, it's going to look very similar to this. Now, you're going to have to make a choice here. Retrieve orders with awaiting shipment, awaiting payment, or process. Personally, I don't care about the awaiting shipment or the awaiting payment because there's still some element that I may not fulfill that order at this point. So I'm not going to be interested in that in this particular scenario. Now, when you may be interested in it, if you're really going to need to use QuickBooks for a more stock management solution, maybe you're selling on more than one platform, and maybe you need to be really strict in the way that you keep your stock, and you're going to use QuickBooks as that central hub. At that point, you do need to account for awaiting shipped. You do need to account for awaiting payment because that stock is effectively tied up at that point into something that could fulfill and become something that's going to get and actually be sold at a later time. And we'll look into how else OneSaas can help you later down the line. When it comes to create a sales invoice and sales receipt, personally, again, I would prefer a sales receipt and a processed, because then what you're doing is those actual items you've sold are the ones you're dealing with. Sales invoice with awaiting shipping and awaiting payment does make sense, but it's only going to make sense to you if that's going to be something coming through later down the line. Order number prefix, that's going to be something if you want to put something so that you can quickly identify items within the eBay. Order number prefix is going to be something that you can use to quickly identify anything in QuickBooks that's come from OneSaas. So you could put eBay, EB, OneSaas, something like that, so that you know that that is an identifier that this has been brought in automatically from OneSaas itself. Set tax type. Remember, you're going to have to decide then, is it the original, so has eBay already defined it? Is it going to be tax inclusive, therefore the VAT is going to be worked backwards for you? Or is it tax exclusive that you need to add the VAT on? Majority of the time, tax inclusive is going to work better for you because you've already sold that item and you should have already accounted for the VAT at that point. If you want to assign a class and location for better reporting options, you have those options there. And this one's can be quite important. Assign sale to either the original customer. So do you want to keep creating different customers for every person you sell on eBay? So maybe you can find that customer back again, or if they sell from more than one of your platforms, you can see kind of the sales they've had overall. Or do you want to just put the customer's organization or generic online sales customer? Now, this is personal preference on this one. Generic online sales customer can make it easier for you to amend possibly things in batches or be able to see more kind of reporting options for you. But I definitely see that the original customer can be something that's really powerful, especially if you do sell on multiple platforms and you want to see kind of returning customers that have gone and bought from you from multiple platforms. That can be something that could be really useful. You can make QuickBooks automatically generate you invoice numbers. You can put where the discount product's going to go, so you can choose exactly what your item's going to be. Now, you can either create a new one or use the one that comes through automatically. And the rounding off is an option as well within your products and services, which means that it's automatically going to round off. Now, the one thing I have seen on OneSaas that has caused issues, and we covered that on that last video, is the fact that every now and again we do have a rounded issue. Having this rounded off item is a great way of solving that. Use shipping item. You can drop down and choose what your shipping item is going to be as well. And then due date offset. Personally, I don't utilize this at all because I'm going to be using the sales receipt functionality. But if you did have that sales invoice option, you might want to extend that due date element just so you've got the ability to make sure that when you actually post this and you've not got the items that are coming through. So think about using due date if you are using the sales invoice option. Match eBay products by following. Is it going to be name or SKU? I find this really useful. Again, if you sell on multiple platforms, you may have a consistent SKU between each of your product items and each of your platforms, but have a different name for each one. So sometimes the SKU can be the best way of making sure that that product is being maintained, and especially for stock valuation and for keeping track of stock, that's going to be really useful to you. Create new items in QuickBooks Online. This is where you need to make sure you've got an income account. Now, I've created a brand new one called eBay Sales, or you can create one. Now, we went through how to create one, really straightforward, back in QuickBooks, accounting, chart of accounts, new, And this gives you the chance then to create a brand new. Then I would go to income, and here I would call it eBay. Or whatever you want to call it in terms of name, save and close, and that will be a new income type that you can assign against. Just be careful with the detail type, probably would want to put it to sales of product income and then change it from there. So you need to choose an income type. You'll then need an expense. So where are the fees, where are the costs going to go? Again, just like I've shown you, just create an eBay fees account and put it against there. This is where having the sales invoice element of it is critical, where you put your map, your tax code. So you're going to have to really think about this. So where's your domestic tax going to be? 20% is what I would recommend. Where's your foreign tax going to be? You want to make sure you're following that completely as it is. So I put it as 0%, put the no VAT, and then I've put these accordingly as well. But don't just follow blindly what I've done here. Make sure that in your circumstances, each business is going to be different in terms of their tax treatment. So make sure you're treating yours correctly. Then we have send payments from eBay to QuickBooks Online. If I do some advanced options here, first and foremost, you need to say where it's going to go. Now, this is where I do use that eBay managed payments bank account. I find it really useful to do that. Using a managed payments bank account, using a control account. Now, using a control account in QuickBooks Online is really useful from time to time. And this is a place where it can be super useful. Now, every time the payouts come into your bank account, what you want to do is you want to say that those payouts should go directly into QuickBooks Online, into the control account. That means that every time that you sell something on eBay, you want that to go to the control account as well. What that'll mean is you'll always have a moving balance, a balance within your eBay control account that you should be able to reconcile. And what that reconciliation should be is what's left on eBay to pay you at that point in time. So what's currently processing, what's currently going through. And if you have it on a control account, you can take control of that and make sure that it is being done correctly. Once you've done that, you need to make sure your refund orders are going to the control account as well. You get some more advanced options if you need to, including what the number's going to be. And also fees. How are you going to account for that? Where do you want them to go? Finally, at the bottom here, you have the option for filters. So you can edit filters, bring them through. And then when a product is created, so remember we're going to completely ignore payout, that's from the last video. Then you can use products. So if you really want to go into being minute about those product details, you can explore that, and also stock levels as well. Now, as with the payouts, it's all about making sure your sync is operational. So make sure you've got your auto turn on, and also use this sync now button to get it through. So you've done that, you're going to be told what's worked. So at this point, 3 of my sales invoices come in, which I'm assuming is going to be this one of £8.98, this one of £6.79, and this one of £10.95. So I know they're going to come through, which is great. That's exactly what I want. But then there's 3 payments were not sent to QuickBooks due to configuration. So I just need to review that one. And here's an issue that's come up. All I need to do though is click on the issue itself. Now, what I have found definitely about OneSaas is if you do have any errors like this, a quick email to them, and most of the time you'll get them sorted. The reason that these payments haven't come through though, if I edit and have a look at it, is because I haven't turned on these elements. So I hadn't ticked these boxes. Now if I press save, now if I press sync now, I should get that on coming through. But what's been sent to QuickBooks? Let's have a look. So I look at my eBay managed control account. And as you can see from the control account point of view, this is what I want to see. I want to see that the transactions have come through as the income and as the expenses. And then, so as you can see, this is what I'm expecting to see. So I've got income coming in here of £10.49. I've got £1.86 of expenses, but I received £8.63 into my bank. And it's that £8.63 brings me back down to 0. And that's what I want to be using a control account for, because that, for me, I now know that these 3 transactions all match up and everything goes according to plan. At the top here though, I still have £7.68. That's because I've seen that I've had my £13.19 come through. I've got £5.51 worth of fees, and then I know that that payout hasn't yet arrived into QuickBooks yet. Looking at my other options on OneSaas though, from a product point of view, I can go into more detail. So how do I want the products to be looking at in QuickBooks, and also with stock levels, I can have a look at maximum stock per item. and make sure that I've got options in there to make sure my stock management is going to work better. So this is when you're using QuickBooks Online as your master stock management and you want to refine exactly how that works. So why is doing it in this way more important? Well, that's because of the VAT element of it. Because I've now broken these down, if I go back to my eBay Managed Payments Control and have a look again, have a look maybe at the latest one that's come through, you'll see that this invoice has my VAT broken down for me from line to line. I wouldn't be able to achieve that if I hadn't have gone through and do a sales order option as opposed to payout. If I just relied on my payout option within QuickBooks Online and I'd only sync that data to QuickBooks, I wouldn't have the necessary detail to be able to find the VAT. So if you look here, it's really important to me because this line hasn't got VAT on, this line has. And if I hadn't have done it any other way, I'd have over provided my VAT, effectively losing out quite substantially on this particular deal. So there we have it, another deep dive into OneSaas and eBay. As you can see, OneSaas and eBay give you lots of functionality within QuickBooks Online. What it does is it gives you that flexibility to use it for whichever type of business you have. Now let me know in the comments below, is this something that is going to be more beneficial to you, or are you going to be continuing to use the payout option? I'd love to know if there's any other reasons why you may be thinking about using the sales order option as opposed to payouts other than VAT and stock management. Is there anything else that I've missed that should actually be accounted for? Let us know below. But I do think that using OneSaas and using eBay to get your information into QuickBooks is by far the most convenient way. If you use the payout or use the sales order option, once you've got that initial sync set up, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of time. And using that eBay control account gives you confidence that everything's being brought in correctly and there's nothing missed out. The great thing about that control account is if suddenly you notice that you've got a load of payouts that are coming in but no corresponding transactions to go with it, then you know something must be wrong with the sync. Jump back into OneSaas, have a look at any errors it might be bringing in and refix and reapply and resync as appropriate. Get used to using control accounts. Control accounts are a really good way to give you that confidence that everything's right. Because if you can get that control account back to zero, you know you've done everything absolutely spot on. Now with that pretty much comes to the end of on OneSaas and eBay. Unless there's any other reasons, let me know below why you'd like us to go into any more detail. But I think now is a good time to start focusing on some of the other platforms that OneSaas connects to. So let's look at Etsy, Amazon, and have a look at those sort of ones as well. Let's make sure that if your business is thriving on not just the one platform, but multiple platforms, that we've got you covered. As always, that's what this video is all about. Making sure that your business doesn't just survive, but thrive, just like we have over at the Bookkeeping Tax Tips channel. Speaking of which, if you head yourself over there now, you'll find we've put some really good details into how a eBay reseller can save some money in terms of tax. So don't miss out on that content. If you found this video at all useful, please use that like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz to help the algorithm and help our videos actually go to the people who need it the most. Let's make sure we get as many eyeballs on this as possible so that if you are using OneSaas, you get that confidence, or if you haven't even heard of OneSaas, then at least then you know that that's going to be your best solution for connecting eBay to QuickBooks Online. My name has been Aaron Patrick. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and no doubt I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter, I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. All the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.